I don't necessarily want more regulation. What I want is consistent regulation. I'm great with GDPR or CCPA.
Right.
Just pick one and let's all use it.
So Aimee, since we're on the topic of data, I'd love to shift our focus to AI. What are the companies that you're interacting with doing to protect their sensitive data from leaking through AI models?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? We're all on the bleeding edge of this and we're all trying to figure it out at the same time, including the AI companies who I think you'll agree have such a polished outer image. And meanwhile, when you sort of unpack that a little, you're like, you guys really don't know either, do you?
It's kind of like when you see an AI photo and you're like, wait a minute. And then you start looking closer and it's like, they have 10 fingers on
Right.
each hand.
Yeah. What is that sixth finger over there? That's really
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. I'm going to start by saying nobody has this all figured out, but I'll tell you how I think about it. First of all, I think companies, again, with the getting to yes, right? I don't want to be the person who says no AI in the company because I'm going to get fired and the company's not going to do well. So how do I enable AI? I want to have two separate AI policies, one for sensitive data and one for non-sensitive data. Let's talk about non-sensitive data first. Writing a job description, polishing your marketing copy, writing letters to customers. Generally, there's nothing in there that's going to be your company's secret sauce. So make a policy that says, here's our policy on data. You can use whatever model you want to do these kinds of tasks. When you shift to sensitive data, I think most people's minds go directly to, oh, sensitive data is customer data, it's PII, it's PHI, and it is, but there's a whole nother set of sensitive data, which is intellectual property. The vast majority of companies in the world, they do something and they're successful at something, not because they have this super secret sauce, but because they've got scale or because they're doing something well or they've learned how to do it efficiently. And that's not easy to steal. We talked about United Health Group before. United Health Group is a gigantic company. Even if today somebody packaged up all of their intellectual property and handed it to somebody else, they can't rebuild United Health Group overnight because, oh, I got the secret. We're going to go make a competitor. The example that I like to use is Google's search algorithm, which is kind of like the Coca-Cola recipe of the internet. If I were the CISO of Google, I might say, you can use Cursor or an AI-enabled copilot for everything in the company except for these 4 areas. I'm just going to ring fence those areas because I don't want the secret of Coke to get out. Now, when you've got customer data, you can have good enterprise contracts with the AI providers that protect the usage. You can, of course, use internally hosted models. I think a lot of the kinds of queries that we're asking from our source populations could be answered with de-identified data in a way that, yes, somebody's going to write to you after this and they're going to say, but what about that person who's like the woman who owns a Ferrari in a small town and you can pick them out? And I'm like, yes, but all you now know is that there's somebody with a Ferrari in a small town. You don't know which small town. Let's just say for the sake of argument that you want to look at your customer behavior in order to improve your marketing approach. Great. De-identify all the data first, run it through your algorithm, figure out what your best marketing approach is, delete it all and clean it all up. Is it possible that somebody might recognize that a single person in this part of the country bought makeup from you? Yes. Is that a big privacy issue? It depends on your company's risk profile, but my sense is probably no. So I love the idea of figuring out whether you can de-identify the data first and whether you can still get the outcome you're looking for by using de-identified data.
Interesting. I don't know why my mind went here, Aimee, but I was thinking about AI regulation in general. When it comes to like what's going on in your head as a CISO, as someone on the security side, when it comes to regulation on the privacy side, are you a big fan of that? Do you want more regulation in place? Do you think that's helpful for the security side? What are your thoughts there?
I don't necessarily want more regulation. What I want is consistent regulation. I'm great with GDPR or CCPA.
Right.
Just pick one and let's all use it. It's really complicated and it's costing all of us more money. So I'm all for regulations. But it is hard when the state of Maryland has a different set of regulations from the state of North Carolina, which is different from California. Like, it's really complicated. I think we could save the entire country, tens of thousands of person hours every year by creating a more consistent regulatory framework. And it would also make customers feel more confident because they would know exactly how their data is being used, at least in this country.
Man, that's a great point. It made me think of people in general and how different we are individually and how we all have different reactions to allergies and foods and different things like that. That's how the regulations seem
Yeah.
to be for each state. It's like,
Yeah, it's
come
like
on.
you walk into a restaurant and now they have to say, "Do you have any allergies?" And I'm like,
I mean, I'll let you
How
know
about
if I
I'll just
really
order
do.
the right food based on my own preferences? But I get it. Like, they're asking because they don't want you to sue them.
That,
And
yeah,
if they ask and you don't say anything and then you get an allergy, that's kind of your problem, not their problem. I mean, if we all had one set of rules, it would be a lot faster and easier for us.
agreed.